What's up, survivors? Welcome to another Last on Earth video. It's your boy Jixer, and in today's video, we're going to be going over 18 tips that are going to help prepare you for the Uncharted Territories, aka the scouting location. But before we get into today's video, I want to say if you're new here, please consider smashing the subscribe button as well as smashing the like button, as it really helps boost the algorithm and really motivates me to pump out more content like this for you guys. Now, to the video. So I want to say these first few tips are going to be a little bit rudimentary, some of them, but these are important tips if you've never been there. So let's just get into the video. Straight away, I like to use guns for the way that I like to farm the Uncharted Territories location. I like to bring at least 6 to 8 weapons. Right here, I have 5, 6, 7. I have 8 weapons on me, and at least 1 melee. Now that is tip number 1. Tip number 2. This is going to be for those people who are going to maybe prioritize bringing more melees over guns. Tip number 2 is that there's lots of places to wall trick there. There are vehicles, walls, buildings, and such that you can use to wall trick. So keep that in mind if you are going to bring more melee weapons and firearms. That's tip 2. Now, tip number 3. If you haven't been to the Uncharted Territories, it is a massive location. It is very large. You're going to spend a good amount of time there, especially if it's your first time. So you want to make sure that you bring food and water, because you will not find food and water there. That's kind of a bummer. I feel like you should be able to, but you do not find any food or water there. So make sure you bring your own water and your own food. That's tip 3. Tip 4 is to make sure you bring empty water bottles, because at the Uncharted Territories, you're going to be using your chopper. You have to use your chopper to get there and spend fuel. So at the Uncharted Territories, you can collect fuel. We'll go over more about how to collect fuel later on in the video. So that is tip number 4. Moving on, tip number 5. You're going to want to make sure you bring 2 crowbars. If it's your first time, I recommend bringing at least 2 full durability crowbars. I know exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to be as efficient as I can. So that, you just want to make sure you bring 2 crowbars, because there are locked doors that you can access with crowbars. That's the reason to bring crowbars. There are lots of doors, but to be efficient, I'm only going to go and open about like 1 or 2 every reset for the Uncharted Territories. So moving on, we're at tip number 6, is that you want to make sure you bring at least 1 iron hatchet. I don't think I really need it for the locations that I go to. I don't really open the barricaded doors. There are barricaded doors and a barricaded garage that you're going to use the iron hatchet for. So that's why you want to bring iron hatchets. If you're going to full clear the locations, you definitely want to bring it. So bring at least 2 iron hatchets. Now moving on to tip 7. Tip number 7 is that you're going to actually want to bring, and I don't have any on me, so it's a good thing we're going over this, transistors. You're going to want to bring at least 10 transistors if you're going to be clearing the location once and clearing everything. You want to bring probably, if you're going to clear it multiple times, I would probably bring a full stack. To clear it once, you just need about 10. So bring 10 transistors, as there's these like power panels that you could repair using transistors to get access to get power to a door, to open a door. So that's what transistors are for. That is tip number 7. Moving on to tip number 8 is that if you are unfamiliar or unexperienced, or maybe just worried about the Uncharted Territories location, I recommend that you craft beacons. If you don't know what a beacon is it's here. It's this new table that came with this update. A beacon, what it does is it retains the item in the bike's trunk when the player dies in the Uncharted Territories. It's active for 4 hours. If you didn't know, in the Uncharted Territories, if you die, the location resets automatically, and the loot, even within your chopper, also disappears as far as Uncharted Territory items. So that is something new and something different for that location, and only specifically for that location, so you don't have to worry about that outside of the Uncharted Territories. Just inside the Uncharted Territories, your loot inside your chopper is not safe, as well as the loot on you is not safe when you die, because it resets automatically, and that's just how this event runs. So that is tip number 8. Actually, before I go to the next tip, You can craft beacon as well as use a reanimator if you have any reanimators. So you can really double down on your safety and not feel worried about wasting your time or resources that you're going to use trying to clear this location. So that is tip number 8. Moving on to tip number 9 as we prepare to get up out of here. If you're running melee, you definitely want to use this. For firearms, it also helps too, but definitely want to try to get the melee buff. I'm not going to get it myself because I don't need it. I'm going to prioritize using guns, but you definitely want to use the healer buffs for this event so that way you are saving durability on your weapons and doing more damage. So that's very helpful. So I recommend using that. That's going to be tip number 9 as well. We're going to add make sure to feed your dogs. They're unfed here as they can offer things like if you have dogs at least with bloodhound increases chance to find better loot. So I recommend doing that as because you can find some very crazy items at the Uncharted Territories. So that's it for pretty much what you're gonna want to do before you head out to Uncharted Territories. Let's go ahead and head out and go over some additional tips. Okay, so, tip number 10 is going to consist of basically traveling. So, in order to get to the Uncharted Territories, it is only accessible by chopper. Also, just real quick, make sure you're traveling from your settlement as it is slightly cheaper leaving from your settlement than from your base. But so you can only travel here with your chopper. You spend a lot of fuel, 49 gas, or what you can do, which is the tip number 10. Tip number 10, walk to the closest location and spend some energy, or just maybe wait a little time, then spend a little less energy. We're gonna go ahead and speed that up for the video, but spend the energy instead of the fuel, which was 49, and then travel from the closest location, which right here is gonna be T Hub, to the Uncharted Territories. So that is the tip number 10. Uh, walk to save gas. All right, now let's load in. And I came to the wrong location. All right, let's go ahead and now travel to the Uncharted Territories. All right, here we are. So the first tip I want to give you right away is that tip number 11, you do not have to clear every location. If it is your first time, please, by all means, loot every single container until your heart's content. But after that, after you've experienced all that this location has to offer, I would then recommend to not clear every location as it is very time consuming as well as resource draining. So tip number 11 is that you do not have to clear every location. So that is what I recommend. Now let's move on to tip number 12. Tip number 12 is going to follow kind of tip number 11, in that you don't have to clear every location. And also tip number 12 will be that you should go around certain locations like this or roadblock, because look, there's like a ton of zombies in there and no one wants to deal with that. So I recommend driving around roadblocks and such. So that's going to be tip 12. Go around roadblocks and checkpoints to avoid taking damage and just any silly nonsense from zombies. All right, so the next tip I'm going to have here for you is I'm actually going to show you a map that we have from the official Last on Earth Discord. I want to say a special shout out to Eva. I think I'm saying that correctly, in the official Last Day on Earth Discord community for really pushing that map out. That's really helpful, really detailed. It's just awesome that we got people like that in the community. So shout out to her. But let's get this map pulled up. All right, so here you can see we have a map made by Eva up there in the top right, like I said. This map is fairly accurate. It will guide you through everything you need to. It will guide you with pretty much everything you need to know about this location almost. Um, it is not a one-to-one, but it is very, very, very close, and will get you where you need to go. So this is the map. I recommend you screenshot it here, or you can always check it out on the official Last Day on Earth Discord in the season tips. But moving on, I want to say when you're doing this location, the way that I like to do it is I like to straight away come to the radio, go straight to the radio tower, avoid all the roadblocks, do everything I said, straight to radio tower, and at the radio tower, what the radio tower is for calling in airdrops, and we're gonna show you, or let's show you here. Let's get back to the game. The radio tower, which is here. If you did not see it, it was that purple, one of the purple locations on the map. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come in here through the side. You're gonna unalive all these zombies and then activate a generator. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off screen for the purpose of the video and saving time. All right, so I unalived a few. What you're gonna have to do here is activate this generator. Doing so is gonna spawn a small horde. I recommend running out here, and so that way you do not get trapped. There is a frenzied giant, but he does not hit like they do in alpha, so you don't have to worry about them too much. They just got a lot of health. Let's now once you activate the generator, you get the horde. Then you come over here and you'll see it says, "Do you copy something something? We're waiting for the coordinates to airdrop." So you go ahead and activate this, and right here is going to tell you where it actually lands. So using the map, we'll pull it up again. It'll tell you where it lands. Let's see what it says. Expect to airdrop in abandoned gas station. So this is perfect because the next tip kind of has to do with the abandoned gas station. So tip number 14 is that airdrop show you location, and this is how you activate the tower, and this is how you call in the airdrop. So that is tip number 14 right here. Let's go ahead and move on to tip number 15 we have, which is very conveniently located or has to do with the next tip, or they kind of correlate with each other. So my next tip that I have is tip number 15 is that there's actually a shortcut. Comment down below if you guys know any other shortcuts or may have found any other shortcuts down below in the comments. There's a shortcut from radio tower straight to gas station. So if you don't know, let's go ahead and pull the map back up one more time. You can see the radio tower at the right, kind of in the center right of the screen there in purple. You would have to like drive around to get to the gas station, or through going up or either going down. Obviously, you're going to go up. It is a bit of a ride, but instead of doing that, what you can actually do is, let's get back to the game. Very conveniently, you can actually go straight from tower, which is right behind me, straight to the gas station actually. So this is a shortcut I want to let you guys know, or just let you know so that you're aware of it, that you can go straight from the radio tower straight to the gas station. And luckily for me, the airdrop is here at the gas station. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this location and let's get that airdrop. All right, I cleared out the airdrop. I want to say that there's quite a few zombies guarding this thing, so just be careful. Boom, and this is what we got. These airdrops, if you don't know, by the way, I do recommend hitting these airdrops, and this is what I like to do. I like to load in, like I said, avoid all the roadblocks and checkpoints, straight to radio tower, then straight to the airdrop. Because if you did not know, these airdrops drop insane loot. Let's actually pull up a picture of all the loot that you can find here. Okay, so this list put together was actually made by me, so shout out to me. You can go ahead and screenshot this here, or you can find it on the official Last Day on Earth community or Discord server in the season tips. But you can see here some of the resources you can find in this drop are insane. You can find steel bar, titanium, copper, aluminum bar, iron plates, oak, factory parts, springs, engine parts, rubber, coal. Those are just for the resources. Now for weapons, we can find grenades, Glock, Python, katana, skull crusher, machete, and now for the insane part of this event really is that you can find drone blueprints inside of these airdrops, as well as purple weapon blueprint mods, blue weapon blueprint mods, gray weapon blueprint mods, badges, everything from green to blue all the way to purple. It's not shown here. I do have an updated list, but all the way to purple badges and survivor journals as well. So it is actually quite insane the things you could find in there, and you could find multiple of these things. You could find a drone blueprint and a weapon mod in one crate. RNG, of course, but that's just the craziness or the level of craziness that is inside these airdrops here at the Uncharted Territories. You could also see that you can find B complex as well as med kits and bandages and gas canisters. And for the equipment, you saw that I got a piece of Raider armor. You usually get one piece of armor from either Raider set or SWAT armor. Sometimes you'll get one piece from both SWAT or Raider armors, but it's one piece of armor from that set. So let's get back to the game. That is the airdrops and such. Pretty much going to consider that still part of tip number 14. So tip 14 was the airdrops, radio tower, and the loot that you can get inside of the loot drops. And then tip 15 was the shortcut. Let's move on. Tip number 15 is going to be about these items back here. Let's go ahead and clear these zombies. So these are one of the locked doors I was telling you about. You want to make sure you're bringing crowbars for it. This guy's loot's in the way. Go ahead and open these up. And tip number 16 is going to be about the supply crates. So here at the abandoned gas station, you're going to be finding the tools supply crate. And I'm going to put this down here. Let's pull up the map one more time and show you where you can find the supply crates. So at the abandoned gas station, which we're at, which is at the top of the map there in purple, is where you're going to find the tool supply crate. Every time, guaranteed spawn. In the exact room that I found it, I pulled it from, that is where the tool crate is. And for the food crate, you're going to be finding that at the trailer park there on the left side of the map with the big red dot. That is going to be where you find the food crate, the food supply crate, which if you guys didn't know, the tool supply crate, the food supply crate, and the medical supply crate, you get to turn in 3 of those a day. They give you each 1,000 points towards your reputation towards the scouting event. So that's how you're going to be leveling up fast, easily, without having to turn in personal items and resources. And lastly, I kind of skipped it, but at the EMS station, that is where you're going to be finding your medical crate, which I will be showing you where they are because we're going to visit the locations here in a bit. So let's get back to the game. That is the loot crates like this one and where they spawn. So that is tip number 16. Tip number 17 is going to be conveniently while we're here at gas station. We'll go over. I forgot where I parked kind of. Let's put this down. Tip number 17 is that you can actually get 125 fuel points or fuel, whatever, from each reset simply from the gas location. I'm going to show you here. If you didn't know, you can get gas from this location from first by finding this dead guy here, looting him, and by looting him you get a key to a storeroom. And in order to get gas, you have to find this key, bring it all the way up here in the top corner, activate the generator to turn on the pumps. Doing so spawns a small horde. Just take them out, and now that turns on the pumps. You just got to find that guy. He's usually in the back somewhere around here. And now we're thirsty, so this is why you want to bring your water. Okay, let's take our bike and bring it up front. All right, here we are. What you're going to want to do to collect the gas is you're going to want to make sure you have empty gas cans. Every time you collect it, it fills up 2. You're able to get 4 gas canisters here, so you can collect 2 from here. And then usually there'll be another pump on the other side over here. And doing so will give you 4 gas canisters, which equals 100 fuel. And we'll go over where you get the additional. Actually, I'll just say it real quick. Down at the Raider camp, there are bikes that you loot and you collect the fuel from. So you get 100 fuel from here and then 25 fuel from the Raider camp, which is also the food camp, which we're going to visit here. So this is how you get the gas. Just go ahead and fill it up. There's 4 cans right there. Make sure you have your empty water bottles. That is it's going to help you collect the gas, the smaller quantities of gas, because you cannot collect small quantities of gas with the large, or I should just say with the empty canister. So that's that. Let's move on to, actually, let's go ahead and visit the camp location. I'm going to go ahead and fast travel there through the magic of editing. Abracadabra. Okay. At the camp location, the food camp, I went ahead and took the liberty of clearing out the raiders. There's quite a few here, so just be careful about approaching this and running straight in. So up here, you can see, once you get into the camp here by the campfire to the right, there's going to be 2 choppers you can go ahead and loot, and you will see that you will find 5 fuel in this chopper. That's not a lot, not really significant, but there is 5 choppers here on this location. So if you go ahead and collect fuel from the 5 choppers, that'll be in an additional 25 fuel, which is basically one more empty canister, well, one more canister of fuel, totaling your entire your total amount of fuel that you can get from each clear of this location to 125. So 125 is definitely a decent amount of gas to get back from this event. So just just know that. So that's tip number 17. The other 3 bikes are going to be down here. They are not here right now because you actually have to kind of spawn them in. To do so, first off, you need to make sure you have a crowbar, and when you open this door, you'll see on the back over here, it says "Coming in. What's your situation? We're coming back." So I'm guessing they assume that no one answered, so there's a problem. So these raiders actually come, they spawn. Go ahead and take this guy out, and when they spawn, they actually roll up in some choppers. So they bring you a little bit more fuel. So this is how you spawn these other 3 bikes. That is tip number 17 on how to collect 125 fuel from this event. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect this, and then I'm gonna head to the next location for our final tip. Actually, real quickly before we get out of here, I want to show you one more time where this location is on the map, just in case there's any confusion. So the zone that you just saw me clear is the trailer park camp. I believe, it was the trailer park camp, the campground, whatever you want to call it, Raider camp. That is the location that I just cleared. So I just wanted to clear that up in case anyone was confused where I was. Now let's get back to the game. All right, so that's that. Now, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and head to our next location off camera using the magic of editing. All right, here we are at my final location for the final tip that I have for you guys, and that's going to be for the EMS station. So tip number 18 is going to be, if you've been here before, you know that if you go through that front door, you're going to set off an alarm which you have to shut off, and if you do not shut it off quickly, you will get a couple waves of zombies spawning. So in order to reduce the amount of resources you need to do this, I recommend tip number 18 is that you can go through this side door. So let's go ahead and go through the side door, and I'll show you what I mean. So there you can hear the alarm is going off. Let's clear everyone out. Here comes the wave of zombies. One more. There he is. Okay, and then you go ahead and shut this alarm off. And you're usually going to get at least 2 waves of zombies, so that's normal. Is that it? Okay, I guess that's it. All right, well, it seems like that's it. Let's go ahead and eat some carrots. Gotta bring that food. Remember, tip number 3, bring food and water. But anyways, that is my time for today. If you guys learned anything new today, please smash the like button. Maybe comment down below if you guys got any additional tips that you may think that I should know about. Let me know of any shortcuts that maybe you have found. But I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of today's video. Let me know down below. what do you guys think about this event? Also, are you guys enjoying it? I know at first glance I was looking at this event like it's kind of a waste, but if you clear this location how I do, which I will explain here one more time, is that my route is I go in, I go straight to the airdrop, call in the airdrop, go straight to that location, collect that supply crate at that said location, and then collect gas and head out and leave and do the same thing, rinse and repeat. So that way I'm wasting or minimizing fuel, minimizing equipment, minimizing hills, just minimizing everything pretty much by not by being as efficient as possible. And that's my route. But like I said, that's all my time for today, guys. As always, have a great day. Your boy, Jixer. Peace.